Hello people, my name is Asa. You are here on my channel Asa Builds. Thank you for being here and a warm welcome if this is your first time watching one of my videos. It has been about 2 weeks since I released my previous video, the Hobbit haul. I am hoping to start moving toward a schedule of one video per week, but at the moment I have had quite a lot on and it's just not been feasible. But it's not been too long, hopefully, and we're back, and I do have another project almost completed, which the video should be up hopefully sooner than last time. But moving on and talking about what it is that I'm building today. So I wanted to build like a multi-generational sort of family home. I watched a video by Jessica Pye. She is a huge Sims YouTuber. If you've not seen her videos, go and check her out, because she is amazing. I love her videos and she's very inspirational. And she'd actually built a house in Brindleton Bay that was for quite a big family, and it inspired me to want to do something similar. So especially since the everyday clutter kits and the bathroom clutter kits have come out, it has made me really want to do a big family house that features a lot of clutter to make it look really lived in by a variety of different age groups, as you would have in a family throughout the house. So the idea with this family that I have built this house in mind for, so the idea is that there would be a grandfather who is retired. In my mind, I imagine that he is an ex-cop. He is retired now and he spends his days looking after the house and the grounds along with the animals, and also playing with the kids, well, toddler and teenagers, as I've envisioned. So we have the two parents as well, a mum and dad. In my vision, the mum would be a vet and the dad would be a police officer. So you will see elements of police, I guess, trophies and whatnot around the house to fit in with the dad. And we have a cat and a dog also, because the mum is a vet. She's very animal loving. This is a very animal friendly household. And as I said as well, so for the kids, I've imagined that we have a toddler who's a little boy and also two teenagers, one girl and one boy. So the bedrooms are decorated to reflect that. But going back to what it is that I'm actually up to at the moment. So as you can see now, I've created the base structure of the house and I'm just going around and adding the windows. With it being in Brindleton Bay, that is of course the world that we got from the Cats and Dogs pack. And I really liked the, what is it? It's sliding, or I'm not sure if it's sliding or under the panelling. But there's a Cats and Dogs wallpaper, so to speak, that I've used around the outskirts. And then I also wanted to stick with the Cats and Dogs windows just to really fit in with the theme of this world. Yeah. So now I'm moving on and doing the floor plan. Creating bedrooms. The idea that in this downstairs space that I'm in just now is for this to be the granddad's room, and then the parents and the kids' rooms are on the upper floor. You could, if you do wish to download this house, choose to use the granddad's space as a garage. However, with me, like I say, wanting to include multiple generations within this household, I wanted to use it as an extra living space for him. And with, of course, him being that little bit older, it might be the case that he's perhaps not as able to get up the stairs as easily as he used to, and so therefore benefits from a bedroom and living space on the ground level. I'm just moving into the kitchen now, so I didn't actually take as long as I usually do choosing the right kitchen counters for the kitchen suite. And it was actually a relatively smooth process, for once. I did do my usual thing and forget to put in a fridge. If you've seen any of my videos before, I've mentioned, of course, that fridges are like one of the last things that I account for. As you can see, I have now thought of it, which is daft because, of course, it is a key piece of a kitchen, but for some reason my brain always seems to forget to place them down, but I've remembered before it's too late this time and accounted for them in that alcove. I also wanted, so with this space, I wanted it to be really big, a really open plan, and to involve an open plan kitchen and dining room with a bar area all in one. There's also a sofa section that I'm away to build with a fire and a TV, so almost like a little keeping room. I didn't actually know what a keeping room was until I looked on some floor plans and then Googled the term recently. But my understanding is that it's kind of like a wee seating area where your guests can sort of sit and chill out, but also be accompanying the host or the chef in the kitchen at the same time. So it's like a little lounge area where they can keep the chef company. There we go. Here comes the fire just now, and I mess about for a little bit with different sofas trying to find the right ones that work. End up choosing ones from the Snowy Escape pack. These are awesome because with the Move Objects cheat on, you can obviously wiggle them so that they're altering lengths to fit the right shape, and create them so that they appear cornered as well. So I will start to add in lots of clutter once I've done the flooring, as I've just done in the kitchen. As I said at the start of this video, I wanted it to look really realistic in the sense of super lived in. If you are in a family home, as much as perhaps the mum, maybe the dad might try to keep it tidy, it's just generally not the case, is it, with kids and animals kicking about? So there is areas that are a little bit messy, a little bit cluttered, where mugs have just been left on sides. I do a few packed lunches for the kids that are ready to go to school on the counter island. Little bits and bobs like that just look as if people have placed down whatever it was they were doing and walked away for whatever reason. So yeah, you'll see all manner of clutter throughout this kitchen, from everything down to glasses and bottles of wine that I've stocked up the display cabinet, well, the kind of like bar cabinet thing with just in front of the dining table. There's mugs that, especially I've used the stained mugs from the Everyday Clutter Kit in the sink so that they look like they're ready to get washed. We've got bits of bottles, jars, tea, coffee, milk, all that kind of thing cluttered about, and I don't know, I'm just so happy with how this kitchen turned out, and I hope that you guys like it as well. There you go, I'm popping the mugs just in by the sink at the moment. But yeah, like I say, I'm so happy with how it turned out. Yeah, so my thinking is with the sim family that I've created and talked about to go into this household. Of course, with me saying that the mum is a vet and the dad is a cop, the idea is that they will have these places to actually go to work to at some point. I have started working on a police station. It's a work in progress at the moment, another sizable project, so I'm not sure if and when that one will come to fruition, so to speak, but we'll see. And also I would like to build a vet as well at some point. So yeah, as I said, this is the cabinet that I was on about that I was filling up with the wine. It does take a little while. Obviously there is a lot of clutter going into this kitchen, but you can see just how much it is that I'm placing down as the video progresses. We've got a little corner with some herbs and spices and sauces and condiments, that sort of thing. There's the packed lunches that I was speaking about. So just on a different note, have you guys looked at the new expansion pack that's coming out? I think it's called Growing Together. What are your thoughts? What are your feelings? Will you be getting it? Are you looking forward to it? And yeah, let me know. Let me know in the comments if it is something that you're going to be choosing to go for yourself. And also let me know if there's any pack ideas at least that you have that you think would be good suggestions for the future. I am keen to hear anybody's ideas. I'm just trying to think, actually, I have been thinking as well about some packs that I'd like, and I had a few good ideas in my mind, and now of course it's come to talking about them and I can't remember, but I will have a think and I will let you guys know if I can remember by the time my next video comes out. But yeah, so moving back to what I'm doing on this specific build, I'm upstairs now and working on the bedrooms. So this is the teenage girl's bedroom. In my head, she is very, very girly. She loves everything pink. So we've got obviously pink and white as the main colour scheme. With her being so girly, I wanted her to have a walk-in closet. This, of course, couldn't be too big because I had to cut into the parents' bathroom in order to make it, but it is a small walk-in closet with floor-to-ceiling mirrors that is super girly, and I'm sure she can have an amazing time getting ready in. Hobby-wise, in my head, this sim that will live here, she loves makeup, so we have heaps of beauty products and whatnot on her dressing table that I'm about to build. And she also likes to sing and play the guitar, so I have a small I say small, it's a standard size acoustic guitar that gets placed in one corner of this room, and I've also got it so that or at least I intended it to, and now I'm saying it, I'm not sure if I did go and place it down, but there should be a guitar in the granddad's room. My idea was that he perhaps taught her and inspired her to want to play the guitar. So there's definitely a guitar book floating around the house somewhere as well, but if there's not and you wanted to go with that idea, you could of course always place an extra guitar down for the granddad. I've moved on into the parents' room now. With them being parents, I didn't want to go too bold with a colour. This house is fairly neutral throughout, as you've seen. There's lots of white wood and lots of light wood as well, so kind of beachy neutral colours, and I wanted to sort of play into that with this bedroom. This is my first time using like a cluster of rugs, right? So I find that I've always used rugs particularly symmetrically, if that is a word. We'll go with it. But yeah, so in the sense of, you know, I would just have the one and it would be placed spot on in the exact right position in the room that was symmetrical, lining up with all the corners, like not touching the furniture, you know, things like that. But I have been seeing more and more of people creating like clusters of rugs. And I was like, you know what, I'm going to give it a try. I'm still not 100% how I feel about it. I have got that sort of wanting for symmetry that does get offset a little bit by having rugs spun at, you know, random angles, so to speak. But, you know, it was different and I do quite like it. So I'm out in the garden now. This actually took me so much longer than I anticipated. There's a lot of footage that was off the camera for this front garden, just trying to decide how the landscaping would work. I figured there would be a number of cars in this family. So the idea is that the sort of Land Rover, Range Rover looking car is for the mum. She's a vet. I imagine that the vet is somewhere sort of out in the woodlands somewhere. You know, she maybe deals with more wild animals, so she needs a car that can, well, that is more sort of all-terrain, I guess. Then the idea is that the muscle car is for the dad. He's a cool cop. He'll be on a really good salary, no doubt, and that's kind of his pride and joy, I guess, is the term I was thinking. And then, of course, we've got a little mini that I thought could be either for the granddad or for the teenage girl. My thinking was that the teenage girl would be a little bit older than her brother. She's maybe just old enough to drive. And either she's got the money and the granddad can have the sports car, which might be a little bit backwards. So I don't know, we'll maybe give the sporty looking car to the teenager. Not that it matters because you can't, of course, use them, but I do sort of create expansive scenarios and stories and ideas in my mind when I'm building a house, because I think if you have specific people, and I say people, I mean Sims characters in mind, when you're building something, it allows you to shape what it is you're building and tailor it around those people. And then I think that really adds a greater degree of realism. So sometimes like I'll use items that aren't necessarily my preference, but for the character that I have in mind, I think that they would like them for whatever reason. And yeah, I think that one, it allows you to use a lot of different objects, but also two, it allows sort of tailored custom designs that really kind of feel like they belong to specific individuals rather than just my own preference all the time. So that's fun. But yeah, so I'm just going through and finishing the final flower landscaping, at least in the front garden. You see the little pebble things that are framing my plants? These are from the Journey to Batuu pack in Debug. And I think they're ace. I'm not sure that I've ever seen anybody else using them. But I was like, how perfect are these to line little planted areas, you know, with your shrubs and your flowers and whatnot in the front garden. So that is exactly what I use them for. As I said, obviously with not having a garage space, choosing to use that space for the grandfather instead, that has of course meant that I needed to get my cars on the front lawn. And because I said what I said with building this for this specific family, it did of course mean I had multiple cars, so they were a bit of a nightmare to fit onto the drive space, I guess we'll call it. But I got there in the end, and I think it looks smart enough. And as I say, if you didn't like it, you could always convert the granddad's living space into a garage if you wanted. So I'm moving into the little toddler bedroom. I do apologise, I bounce around quite a lot. I've been trying to like stick with certain rooms at once, but then I'm so like all over the place when I'm adding in like things like decorations. I'll be like, oh, that could go really well in the kitchen, and then oh, that would go really well in the laundry room. So I'm bouncing all over the place and just dropping things in the room until I sort of go back round and tidy them up. But I am trying to stick more to one room at once, as best I can, just for viewing's sake. But yeah, talking about the little toddler's room, that was a fun one to build. As I said, I like to try and give my characters personalities in my head that I can tailor their living spaces around. And with this little boy, in my mind, he is obsessed with animals. Like, that is his favourite thing at the moment. He likes to read about them, play with animal toys and whatnot. So the room is very brightly coloured. We've got a big stuffed giraffe, I think it is, that's in there. We've got paw-shaped furniture from I think it's from the My First Pet pack. So lots of references to different animals and whatnot throughout the room. But yeah, one thing that I did want to talk about is, of course, the update that has come out not too long ago for the game. That was at least intended to make things better for console players. As you know, well, at least if you've watched my videos before, I play on Xbox One. It's not the fastest, it's certainly not, but it works for the most part. And unfortunately, since this update, I've had my game crash twice while saving, and once more whilst, literally today. It was so annoying. I'd done the last 2 hours worth of work on that smaller project that I was mentioning that should be coming out soon. I was getting rid of one last thing that I'd placed down, and then I just had a couple of bits left to do, and then I was away to save it, and it just completely crashed. So that was quite disheartening, but I thought, you know what, I'll come and do the voiceover for this video instead, pick myself back up a bit, and maybe go back to that if I've got the motivation to do that 2 hours worth of work again a little bit later on. But yeah, so I have found, of course, that it's crashed more as a result of this. And then, of course, the idea was that at least my understanding is that the idea was to make the controls better in build and buy mode. Now, I don't know if any of you guys play on console. Let me know if you do. For me, it's just made it so glitchy. So like, you know how basically they've tried to make it more like the cursor be more like a PC cursor, in the sense of everything gets clicked on when you're scrolling down things. You click on the scroll bar and drag it, rather than previously you would click onto the item. So you can see like I've got the wall decorations open at the moment, and then you would use the D-pad to like scroll up and down, or either that or your left stick. But now for some reason it does a combination of either or of the options, and it's like it's partly worked how they wanted it to for me, and then other times it's playing completely how it used to play, so I'm not seeing any difference at all. I have figured out by pressing the back menu button, I think it's like the two little boxes symbols on the Xbox controller, it seems to flick it between the two methods of controlling, like almost like a PC method and an Xbox method. I don't know if that's making a heap of sense. I apologise if not. But yeah, if you are on Xbox or PlayStation and you're having issues as well, do let me know. It'd be good to feel like I'm not alone in this, I guess. But yeah, so I'm going through the teenage girl's bedroom at the moment and added in all the clutter for her. So as I said before, my way of doing this is like a product dump, so to speak. I go through and anything that's pink, anything that's girly, anything that I thought would look perfect and fit in with her hobbies and tastes, I have just simply dropped onto the floor, and then I go through and tidy it all up. I do find this more satisfying than I probably should, but hey, I think it looks really good when it's come together. You know, as I said before, very, very lived in. You know, as a teenager, I definitely, well, this is a lot tidier than the bedroom that I used to have as a teenager. But yeah. So I'm just adding some No CC gallery art here. This is some Chanel gallery art. I just thought that was super pretty and fit in really well with a girly vibe. For those of you that don't know, you can add in paintings like this even if you're on Xbox. There's some wonderful creators out there, and I'm not sure, to be honest with you, how it is that they do it, but they are basically able to create paintings of seemingly anything in the game when they're on PC. PC players can, at least. And then these paintings do not count as custom content, which is wonderful. And when these wonderful people share them to the gallery, people like myself can download them, and it really helps to bring a bit of extra life to our builds and adds absolutely thousands more artwork than that which we've got the choice of in game. And another thing that you can do, if you don't want to just have like the canvases as canvases and want them to look a bit more, well, framed, I guess, you can literally use paintings from the normal build by menu and wedge your canvas inside them. You'll see that I do that on one of the downstairs bathrooms a little bit later on, and it just, the painting from the game that was originally there basically gets hidden by the canvas that you place in front, but then it still looks as though the frame's around it. So that looks pretty cool too. Yeah, now I'm cluttering up the parents' bedroom. Again, this isn't quite as heavily cluttered as a teenager from a degree of realism. I think parents are generally better at being organised, having stuff put away into its proper place. And I suppose they just like don't have as much stuff as you do when you're a teenager, and you've got books and you've got school stuff and you've got stuff to do with your hobbies, and makeup, yeah, all sorts of things that can just create a really filled and cluttered room. So this space where you can see that I've placed the foosball table, this was kind of like a walkway space to the living room, the laundry room, and access to the granddad's living area, and also the gym. So because it was like a necessary room to go through in order to access these other rooms, I didn't want to make it like something that was shut off exactly, which is why I've used the open door frames to lead through. But then I did also think, I was like, well, it looks a little bit too wide to just be a hall. So then I thought, well, you know what, let's play some games type stuff. So we've got like a don't wait, the llama table, we've got a dartboard, a foosball table and a ping pong table. And I just thought, you know what, that's a nice open area that can be easily walked through, but also filled with different activities for your Sims to partake in and spend some family time doing. I'm moving around and product dumping in all of the upper 3 bathrooms at the moment, so maybe this is a tad unrealistic, but as I said, I was so excited to use all of the new clutter stuff. So with the bathroom clutter particularly, so I wanted a bathroom for each of the family members living here. So we've got, one for the parents, not one each, but then one for the granddad, one for the toddler, one for the teenage boy, and one for the teenage girl. The only one, like you just seen, that I went back and changed was the teenage boy's one. I just didn't like the colour scheme that I'd got going on, so I made it look a bit more modern, but also still reflecting the sim that I had in mind for it. The little boy's bathroom I wanted to make very bright, very fun. As I said, he's obsessed with animals, so we've got the cat deco from the Snowy Escape. I think those tiles are awesome. I've never had a particular reason to use them before because I do think they are very, I guess, infantile looking. It's not the sort of thing I would want in my own bathroom, but I don't have a toddler. So I thought by giving him his very own one, we could decorate it really fun and sort of childlike seeming, with lots of bright colours and animals and bits and bobs. The parents' bathroom I have kept a lot more neutral. And then the teenage girl's bedroom is white with hints and accents of pink all over. As I said, I imagine she was very girly. With the teenage boy, I haven't talked about him yet. So in my mind, he is very into his gaming. He is the only person in the household that has got a TV in their bedroom. So he's into his gaming. And you know what? I've said that. And I think I've forgotten to actually put a console in there, so he's got a TV and nothing to game with, even though he loves gaming. But hey, I'm sure that can easily be added in. He's also big into his sports, so we've got a basketball and a snapback hat, some sports equipment strewn around the place. I've done it in a very sort of typical teenage boy colour scheme, lots of blues and blacks, and really cluttered up his desk with different things like school books and whatnot. But now I'm doing the dad's desk. So this is a little office area that is extended off from the living room. As I said, my idea is that the dad would be a police officer, so he's got all sorts of police wall decals, if you will, there. My boyfriend's been watching a lot of crime shows at the moment, and one of them is, cop shows, I guess. But yeah, one of them is Dexter, and I don't know if you guys have seen Dexter. This shan't really spoil anything, but there's the police, the team on Dexter, not that they're police, I don't think. I've kind of been like overwatching it whilst I've been playing The Sims as he's had it on, but I think they work in forensics. But anyway, that team, they have their own bowling team outside of work, and I thought it'd be really cool just to put that little touch in there so that the dad's on the bowling team with his colleagues, which is why we've got the bowling trophies and cabinets in his office as well. This living room, I'm building a custom fireplace. You don't actually see me do the final bits of the fire on camera, but you will see it lit in the screenshots at the end. This was really fun. I love doing custom fireplaces. If you use there's a lamp from the Get Famous pack that works by emitting like a candle flame. And if you size that down, you are just left with the flame at the size that it was, but then the actual lamp can be hidden. And that can create a flame, which if you then in live mode select to put your candles as always on, it will be always on. There's no need to go and light it like an actual fire. So it's really easy and really simple to create that aesthetic, which I was really happy with. But yeah, in the laundry room now, so I wanted an area where obviously the Sims could come to wash their clothes, and I wanted to keep this relatively small and compact, but just include a few basic bits and bobs like a washing machine, dryer, storage for pillows, blankets, cabinets, ironing board, and an iron, of course, and things like that. So that was a nice quick room to decorate and clutter up with a small seating area just whilst if you're perhaps waiting for the washing machine to finish or something of that nature. Do you know, I can't actually believe how long that this video has gone on for. It is a total of 42 minutes at the moment, and I didn't want to speed it up any more than it is because I mentioned that I know that I am guilty of bouncing around a lot with my camera angle. I am conscious of that becoming too nausea inducing, I suppose, for you guys as viewers, so I felt like if it was sped up anymore, it might be a little too hard to keep up with and might simply make you dizzy, and that is not my intention. So yeah, so I do apologise that it is a bit of a longer video, but it is of course a big build. It is on a 40 by 40 lot in Brindleton Bay. I've kept the name of the property just as Chateau Frise, I think is possibly pronounced, but so yeah, if you wanted to search for it on the gallery, you would just simply need to search for that, or search for my EAID, which is Miss_Asa. But yeah, this is a little bit off topic, but one thing that's just popped into my mind that I thought would be cool to tell you guys, if any of you are Xbox players like myself, I don't know if you've ever paid much attention to the Microsoft Rewards scheme. In all fairness, you can do that on the PC as well. So you can get points to spend on Microsoft products for the PC. I don't quite know how it works the same, but I think it does, to a degree at least. But yeah, on Xbox, it's really easy to make a lot of reward points fast. All you have to do is things like get an achievement on a game, look at a couple of different videos, search a few things on Bing, and I would strongly recommend checking out the Microsoft Rewards app. I've been using it more and more recently, and within 2 weeks I've made enough for a £5 voucher, just simply from doing a couple of searches and a few challenges each day that are either really fast or things that just naturally happen when you're gaming, like earning an achievement. And my thinking is that's basically what's paying for the kits that I don't have yet. So if I'm making £5 worth of reward points every 2 weeks, I'm getting a new kit for free every 2 weeks, effectively. So yeah, I would recommend having a look on the Microsoft Rewards app on Xbox, partaking in the daily challenges. You will see your rewards mount up really quickly, and then if there is anything else that you're wanting on this game, or of course anything else across the Microsoft Store, you can put it toward it, and I think that's pretty cool. So yeah, I'm coming toward the latter stages of this build now. So yeah, big thanks to you if you have made it this far, and I promise not to keep you for too much longer. The room that I am in at the moment is the granddad's bedroom. I wanted to keep this fairly neutral as well, nothing too bold, but also be reflective of an older gent. So there's not like a great deal in terms of technology and bits and bobs like that, but one of the things that I do is to add paintings of, so from the cats and dogs pack, if you go into the miscellaneous items, there is some well, they just look like feathers, but then when you click on them, they're actually like little I want to say paintings, but kind of like little paintings that go on the wall that show you a picture of the bird that the feather has come from, and then the actual feather. So my idea was that one of the hobbies that this granddad could have would be that he absolutely loves bird watching. So he has his little collection of feathers from the different birds that he's seen or whatnot over the years. I just thought that would be a little cute touch. I've added in the 2 armchairs from the cats and dogs pack as well. These are like really old fashioned and really cutesy and really like grandparents-y, if you will. I know I'm just adding E at the end of my words here and expecting you guys to go with it, but hopefully you are. But yeah, I thought it looked really cozy and just kind of reminded me of a grandparent's style. I realised as well that I went past one area that I built that was built in mind for the cat and the dog that live here, at least in my gameplay. So the dog that I imagined, what did I make him? I think I made him, I want to say a German Shepherd, but I'm not 100%, but I just feel like that is a really good dog for a cop to own. It just kind of makes sense. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, and then they've also got a cat as well. And so basically what I wanted to do, I wanted everybody to have a little area in this house that is like just for them, including the animals. So under the stairs, I made like a little animal bed area by using multiple of their pet beds and a half wall with a little door that the animals can go through, or a toddler for that matter, but this is for the animals. And yeah, I just filled that up with the cat beds and the dog beds and some toys for them, and I just thought it looked really cozy and cute and a nice area for them to sleep in at night. But yeah, I'm in the gym now, and I tried making that blue at first, but then I thought, no, we'll go with something a little bit more neutral. So I turned it just black and white. So a very monochrome look. This is at the front of the house, so you can be running, well, your Sims can be running on the treadmill, looking out through the big open window. There's also a punch bag, some dumbbells, which were created by a wonderful creator. I will have to find her name to put in the description. But they were made using hexagonal lights from, I believe, Eco Lifestyle. And another light that I can't recall what pack it's from at the moment, but he has rotated this so that it's horizontal rather than vertical, and then attached the two hexagonal lights either side to create the dumbbells. I do encourage you to download this build so that you can have a look at it and check it out, because it's amazing and it really helps my gym feel like it had come to life. Just cluttering the granddad's bathroom now. I've done like a stack of loo rolls on top of the loo. I've seen that in people's bathrooms before. I just thought that was ace for making it look very realistic as well. I did give the granddad a nice jacuzzi bath as well. I figured he was the oldest one in the house, so you know he deserved it. But yeah, just cluttering up the sides, the counter now in the granddad's bathroom, and adding a few bits and bobs like a shaver and some soap bits and bobs for him to have in his jacuzzi bath. But yeah, we are finally coming toward the end of this video. Now, I do go through and add a lot of extra clutter from the debug menu. I did this off camera just because, again, it's very bouncy back and forth, but there is absolutely heaps of screenshots coming up just shortly where you'll be able to see everything in more detail. And as I say, if you do wish to download it, my EA ID is miss_Asa, and you can find this build on my catalogue simply under Chateau Freeze. I've also added in off camera a sort of playhouse thing with a slide that isn't functional, unfortunately, but for the toddler to use. They can access the playhouse area as far as I'm aware, climb up, they just can't go down the slide bars. But yeah, you'll see screenshots of that coming up shortly. Thank you ever so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you guys in my next video. Have an amazing day. Bye.